Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is what we like to call Heirloom Bible Study. These are the Bible studies that you had years ago, where they studied the Bible verse by verse, not leaving anything out. Everything's included. This is 100% Bible. Today we're looking at Psalm 58. All this week we're in Psalm 58. We're going to look at verses 1 and 2 today. And the introduction, we have a similar introduction as we had last week, minus the historical content. This week the introduction is of the choir master on Al-Shatith, which means do not destroy, a miktam of David. So we have another miktam. We have the same word here, do not destroy. And so we're still in that same vein. Think about Saul, think about the cave situation. David didn't destroy Saul then. What's he doing in this psalm? Well, we're going to see, because we have basically three groups or three perspectives here that we want to make sure we pay close attention to. We have the perspective of the wicked. There again, highlighted here. We have the perspective of God, or the Lord. He's highlighted here. And then the righteous. And then all three of these streams come together there in verses 10 and 11. So we're going to begin with, and of course, I say there's three. There's always the fourth. The fourth is the prayer. So David's praying. This is a prayer that he's making to the Lord. He says there in verse 1, "Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth." So you see, right away, we have the psalmist. This is a miktam of David, so we're talking about David here. And he asks the question, do you speak righteousness? Do you judge uprightly? Really? Of course, this is a rhetorical question. He knows the answer, and he's actually going to deal with this question throughout a great deal of the psalm. Probably half of the psalm deals with this idea of, do you really work righteousness? Do you really judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Because we think we do, don't we? We think we deal righteously, and we think that we act rightly before God. But do we? Well, the Bible tells us a different story. The Bible tells us that we're corrupt. And so David begins to, in verse 2, address the question. He says, "Yea, in heart you work wickedness." So the truth about us is that there is no goodness there. There is no righteousness, and there is no uprightness, because in heart you work wickedness. And notice, he's not identifying the wicked man. He just says, "O sons of men." So this is a general description of mankind. You sons of men, you work wickedness in your heart. See? Then verse 2, second half, you weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. So not only do you work wickedness, but you want to know just how much wickedness you work. You know, you're trying to measure just how bad you are because you're weighing the violence of your hands. So David really points out the corruption of man here. We could go back to the New Testament and see where the Apostle Paul picks this up in Romans chapter 3, just say, for example. Or perhaps in Ephesians chapter 2. He picks it up there as well. This is something that is the condition of every man, but until we come to Christ, until we've turned to God by the Lord Jesus, we are nothing but corruption. We are sold under that system not only because of Adam and his sin, but because we've made those choices. We willingly corrupt. We willingly act wickedly. We work wickedness in our hearts. We weigh the violence of our hands in the earth. So come back tomorrow. We're going to pick this up. David's going to give us a little more description tomorrow in 3, 4, and 5, and that'll be our passage then. So come back for some more Heirloom Bible Study on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.